everyone, welcome to another episode of Gone Rogue. And in this episode of Gone Rogue, I am going to talk about controlling what you can control. That is right, in this episode of Gone Rogue, I am going to talk about controlling what you control. So what is making me discuss this discussion for this episode of Gone Rogue is because sometimes we are so stuck in a situation, and sometimes we gotta step back and think about ourselves and have a reflective, constructive talk. Sometimes we think it's really our fault of things that we can't control, but is it actually really our fault? Yeah, this can also apply to any situation, whether it's about life, something in life, or at our jobs, or school, or something like that. But I think we need to have a talk of how controlling things of what we control, and there are so many. There are so much that you can do of what you can actually do and what you can actually not do. For example, the pandemic is out of our control. The pandemic is actually out of our control. It's a perfect example to use for this episode of Gone Rogue. The pandemic is something that is out of our control. The pandemic is something that we cannot see ahead of ourselves. So for example, on like January 2020, the month of January in 2020, we heard about this COVID-19 thing that originated from China, and we never thought it would be a worldwide pandemic. And we know that what happened afterwards, the country shut down, basically the entire world shut down, and people lost their jobs and all that stuff. Sometimes, for me, for example, there was no reason to blame myself for it, and it has a perfect symbol that we can't control of things like that. But going into a specific life situations, there are things that we can't control, and we have to accept the fact. We have to accept the fact that we can't control and try to change things ourselves, because trying to change things ourselves would be pretty pointless. And I was said in a different episode of Gone Rogue is about trying to fight your fate. And you can still try fighting your fate, but you gotta ask yourself, is it worth the energy? Worth everything? Sometimes it is, sometimes it is not. But that's pretty much different from what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is something that you did, something that you have no impact of doing, something that you weren't here before. The last people did it. Now you're getting the blame for it. That is something that you can't control. Sometimes you gotta deal with it head on, and at the end of the day, you know that you did your best. That's all that matters at the end of the day. So basically, if you're in a similar situation in life, or whether it's anything, uh, just know that there are things that you can control and things that you cannot control. And it is best that is right. It is best that you focus all of your energy on the things that you can control and acknowledge that you can't control everything. You can't control the universe, you can't control time. And I just want to bring up this Nike commercial, this Nike commercial campaign, or Nike ad campaign, that is that how LeBron James is competing with Father Time, and sometimes you can't fight Father Time. Kobe once said is that you have to face your fears, or not be afraid. Don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid of anything. It's all about trying to examine what you have here, examine what you fear, and being able to control what you can control, and doing whatever after you analyze it. After you analyze what you can control, something about that strikes me the most, is that if you are able to control what you can control, you can do whatever you want. And that is something that is Mamba mentality right there. It's all about trying to control what you can control, and if you can do that, you can do whatever you want with it. And this applies to fear. I think is when Kobe's talking about fear and being able to acknowledge of what this is the same thing as what I'm trying to do, is trying to compare this to controlling what you control. But sometimes it is what it is. So that is basically what I want to talk about. Comment in the comment section below if you want to share any experience of similar situations that you think, or add any insights to this discussion, which is really appreciated and welcome on this episode of Gone Rogue. That's really what I want to talk about. Just want to put out an awareness videos to everybody on here, that sometimes you can't control what you can control, and you can't do everything all at once. The best version is being yourself, being able to perform at your best level. So that's really about it. I really think I just want to hope this video helps you function well in life. And that's all I have to say about this episode of Gone Rogue. So that's about it for this episode of Gone Rogue. Comment in the comment section below on what you think about what I said. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Be sure to get my other YouTube content that is on this channel. And thank you for watching Gone Rogue. Now I'll definitely see you on the next one.